Good morning, everyone. Today I'll be talking about one of the most beautiful minds in humanity, Stephen Hawking. Sadly, Stephen Hawking has passed away on the 14th of March 2018. He died in Cambridge, in England, at the age of 76 years old. He was born on the 8th of January 1942, in Cambridge in England. He's an English physicist and cosmologist. And cosmologist means that he studies the universe. Stephen wasn't doing well on his academic studies while he was young, and his teachers said that not much would come out of him, but actually his classmates sparked something of him. They said that he was really smart and intelligent, even though he wasn't doing very well on his academic studies. But they called him or nicknamed him Einstein, which means that they really found something. And when he grew up, he went to the University of Cambridge, and he was doing his PhD in physics and cosmology. And at the age of 21, when he was on a party, he met a young girl named Jane Wilde. He met her in a party, which then they were really close to each other. And while he met her, after like a couple of weeks, sadly he got diagnosed by the ALS, and that means that that his body will paralyze slowly, not very slowly, but it will paralyze his whole body, and it wouldn't really affect his brain, but it would affect his body. So Jane decided to marry Stephen. After that, she was really young. She didn't know how to. She just took the decision because she really loved Stephen, but she didn't know what she was going for. She was a teenager. She was about 19 years old, and he was 21. And they really got married, and getting married really lifted the hopes for Stephen Hawking. It really helped him, and he felt that he's now a husband and there's someone next to him, that he's not alone. So when his case got worse and worse, he's had to sit on a wheelchair. Stephen didn't really like it because he was actually an athletic person, but he had to because he really exerted a lot of effort to walk by himself, and it took a lot of time to reach his destination. And he was talking in a weird way because actually his jaws, he couldn't really move it so well, so he couldn't really talk that much, and when he talks, his voice is not clear. And he got his first child, Robert. At that moment, Stephen Hawking felt that he lives for a reason. Now he's a father. He has his first child, and he's really happy, and he really loved Robert so much. And then when Stephen was one in the concerts, he was left out in a coma, and the doctor offered Jane to turn off the life machine, but Jane really refused. She said that Stephen must live. She didn't want him to die because he also wants to continue to, because Stephen wanted to live, and he really loved physics, and she said that he must live because she really loved him. But unfortunately they had to take his voice, and he couldn't talk. He doesn't have a voice. And then he got his iconic voice that we know now, the robot voice and the American accent that we hear his voice these days. And it's basically a computer that's attached to his wheelchair, and he presses on a mouse by his right hand because it's the only thing that he can move. But then when his case got worse and worse and he couldn't move even his right hand, he got something under a sensor on his cheek that when he moves he talks, and when he moves his cheek he moves the cursor on the computer, and then it takes time to communicate, but it was really helpful for him. And then he started to write his first book, which was A Brief History of Time. It was basically about the beginning of time itself and how the universe was formed. I really loved the book, and I am now reading that book. I haven't finished it, but it's really interesting, and the best part that he has done it he has simplified the physics so much that anyone could understand his books. And his book got for 5 years the best-selling book in England, and had been translated to more than 40 languages, and it had been sold more than 10 million copies. And after 30 years of his marriage with Jane Wilde, he got divorced because Jane couldn't handle his fame. He became so famous, and he had to move from there, and she felt that she and the children were left out. She and Timothy, and she felt that she and her 3 children, Lucy, Robert, and Timothy, were left out because Stephen didn't have time to spend time with his children. So they got divorced after 30 years of marriage, and that really had a big impact on him. And he got married to one of his nurses, Elaine Manson, for 11 years, and then they got divorced, and he was left alone. But his daughter Lucy came and helped him. She's a writer for children, book writer, and he has done a book with her about the universe for children. And he has been in a scene in The Big Bang Theory, which is a TV show, and also he was been one of the characters in The Simpsons. And then after all his life, and that doctors told him that he only had 2 years to live when he was diagnosed with the ALS, and he managed to live more than 50 years after that. His life, he said one of the quotes, when there's life, there's hope. And he also said, however difficult life may seem, there's always something you can do and succeed at. So he never gave up for his illness, and he continued to do and work on his theoretical physics. And there was a movie about him, The Theory of Everything, which was actually a memoir from his first wife, Jane Wilde. And the book was called Traveling to Infinity, My Life with Stephen, and the movie was called The Theory of Everything, and the one that was playing Stephen was Eddie Redmayne, and that year he won the Oscars because of that film. The film is really, really emotional, but it's really interesting in the same way. And sadly he passed away on his 76th, when he was 76 years old. And he was also a professor in the Cambridge University in mathematics and cosmology and physics. And that's it, and I hope you really liked the video, and don't forget to press the like button and subscribe my channel. Thank you. Wait for more videos. Thank you.